Welcome to Go on Shaw TV. I'm Craig Momney, and today we're at Nerdvana, the store where you can find out about Batman vs. Superman, get the details on the Infinity War, and yes, even catch up on the comic book series The Walking Dead. I'll speak with Ashley Laurenson a little bit later on in the show about Nerdvana because just like Transformers, there's more Nerdvana than meets the eye. Also on this episode of Go, we'll head down to Edmonton where Edmontonians have gone to the Chickens, but right now let's head to the Diamond where we learn the history of baseball here in Fort McMurray. Welcome back to Go. Here in Nerdvana with me is Ashley Laurenson, manager of the store. First off, this is a beautiful store.
I'm
kind of geeking out right now. Tell me a little bit about Nerdvana.
So Nerdvana is a comics and collectibles store right here in Fort McMurray. It started up a couple of years ago when we figured out that there wasn't really any nerdy stuff in town for people to like check out and look at, and you know, like Mike and I are both big nerds at heart, so when we figured out there was a hole, we decided to fill it.
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of this stuff you can find on Amazon.
Yeah.
What's the importance of buying local?
The importance of buying local is that I find it's really important because buying local means like supporting your baseball teams. Like we like trying to sponsor sports teams here in town. It's growing our own local economy. It's making sure that there are places where people can go where, you know, they can get personalized information about what they want to look at. I get guys in here asking me about Walking Dead, Civil War. They come in here to talk to me about all the latest movies. Like, I think it's really important to have that personal touch.
So it brings the community together at the same time, right?
It really does, yeah.
Now, something else that brings the community together are your swap meets. Tell me about those.
Yeah, so every so often, normally we try and do them quarterly. We'll have a swap meet where people can actually come and sell their own nerdy goods. So we get a girl who does handmade bags, like based on, you know, like Nightwing, Legend of Zelda, like all that kind of stuff. Then we have guys who have huge comic collections of really old stuff that we can't like get our hands on because, you know, we mostly get new through the distributor. So it's really cool to get a lot of the older, like, you know, like Golden Age, Silver Age stuff in through the store, as well as like we get people coming in just to play video games. Like sometimes we'll have the Gamers Association in here, like setting up and having like old Nintendo tournaments and stuff like that. It's pretty sweet.
So it's definitely a place that brings the community together.
It really does. And like, it's so cool because we get people in here all the time and you see people making friends with each other because, you know, like someone will be grabbing for an Ant-Man pop figure and someone will be grabbing for a Yellow Jacket and they're like, oh man, I love that movie too, you know? So like, it's pretty cool. You see some new friendships and all kinds of things.
Now, we're going to talk about something a little bit later on that's big that's going to happen here right at Nerdvana. I couldn't help it, but I actually wore a comic book shirt on my way into Nerdvana. But the only thing is this guy's got a movie coming out. Are you Team Cap or Team...
I am Team Cap.
Oh.
You know what though? That's based on the comic book series. So in the comic books, like Tony Stark was the bad guy. Like he was like, you know, like you could tell that he was the evil in the story, and Cap was like good old Captain America. Whereas in the movies, it kind of seems like a bit of a blurred line. So I'm not really sure like what way they're going to go with the movie. It sounds like they're not going exactly to the Civil War comics, so it'll be interesting for sure.
Now I don't really have an Arc Reactor T-shirt, so I'm actually Team Stark. But right now we're going to head down to Edmonton because some of the people down there have gone to the Chickens. Welcome back to Go. Still with me is Ashley Laurenson, manager here at Nerdvana. Now we have a few comic books right here, but this is all in reference to a day that's coming up. What is it?
Yeah, so Free Comic Book Day is coming up. It happens the first weekend of May every year. And the best part about it is free comic books.
Now, do we know what comic books are going to be available that day?
Yeah, I know a few of them. They keep a lot of them secret until the last minute. But a few of them that are coming out is Secret War 2 #1 is a huge one because it's going to be the second iteration of Civil War, obviously, to tie into the movies. There's also Serenity is coming out with a one-shot that ties in directly to the Leaves on the Wind series that just happened. So if you're a Firefly fan, you're probably going to want to pick it up.
And the best thing about comic books is that it also brings the imagination of some kids, which could tie into another thing that you guys do here at Nerdvana.
Yes. So another thing that we do here is Drawing Club. One of the really cool things about comics that I tell like I get a lot of parents in who are looking for something for their kids to read, and it's kind of like a really good passage between like picture books and novels because they're a lot more complicated than just a regular picture book, and it's really great for kids to understand, like, I don't know, like the way conversation works in comics and stuff. And one of the really cool things is there's so many great drawings in comic books. So what we started up recently is a drawing club, where we get whoever wants to come out of the community. They can bring their sketchbooks, pencils, markers, whatever they want, and then everyone just kind of sits together. And we normally get some drawing books from the library so people can reference if they need a little bit of help. And yeah, people chat while they draw, and people show each other techniques. It's really cool.
Now, who knows? They might actually have a comic on Free Comic Book Day one day.
Yeah, maybe. Could you imagine? That'd be so
That'd
cool.
be amazing. Well, thank you very much for being on the show today, Ashley.
No problem. It was great.
Right now we're going to take a break. You're watching Go. We're here on Shaw. So remember, on May 7th, come out to Nerdvana, grab a comic book on Free Comic Book Day, and who knows, this comic book might spark the imagination of a young one in your family. That's all the time we have for this episode of Go. I'm Craig Momney, and as always, we'll see you later.